really hoping that this
It's come
worked.
up on my YouTube, yay!
I think I'm having some internet issues. If it happens again, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we may have to just call it. Call it the end of the stream. But, yes, Beau is here with me.
Yes, hi everyone. Sorry for the issues. We don't know what's going on. Well, we kind of know we kind of maybe know what happened the first time. We don't know why there was a second, like, why our second attempt at streaming lasted only 4 seconds. That was very confusing.
There's no answers. For those of you who are just joining us, I don't know if I'm gonna put these two videos together or just wish for the best and keep them apart. But if you don't know who we are, I'm Sarah Miller-Cruz. I am the English voice of Lumine and Genshin Impact, and I'm here with... Dun, 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 dun.
Hi everyone. My name's Beau Bridgland, and I'm the voice of Chongyun in Genshin Impact. And do I do the whole I sound different from Chongyun thing again, or should we just get into the gameplay?
Whatever you want. I mean, I
say let's get into some
let's
gameplay.
Let's just get into the game.
We have kept the good people of I don't know what to call your fans as a collective, but let's not leave the fans hanging any longer.
There's no name. I'm not that creative. Actually, it's really funny because my mods, my wonderful, fantastic mods, which, again, shout out to my amazing mods for all their help during this tech struggle moment. They keeping, like, whenever our Discord gets, like, boosted enough times, they're like, we need to make a link, like a special, like, you can make, like, your own special name link thing for people to join. And I've always like, oh yeah, let's do that. But my indecisiveness means I've never been able to decide what it should be, and so we've never done it. And there's still no link. There's no, like, special custom. Awkward.
I do quite like some of the suggestions in chat, like the Saraville, the Sarah Serenity, Sarah and the Crazy Crew. I think I misread that at first as Sarah and the Cozy Crew, which I would have quite liked. But anyway.
Xander says, I'm a snake, hiss. I'm a snake. Have you ever seen that thing?
No, I have not. I'm pretty sure.
I can't describe it. I'll try to find it for you later. But yeah, we are... someone said I'm visiting from Bobithia. Is that your city's name, Beau?
Not to my knowledge.
Bobithia? Wow.
But yes.
Wow, great. Okay, so we're gonna continue the story, and then if it crashes again...
We'll try hopping over to my channel? I don't know.
Beau will stream, yeah. Or we'll, I don't know what we'll do. But, okay, anyway. Let's keep going. We're gonna talk to Mika. And by we, I mean... this entire group is gonna talk to each other. I don't know why I said it that way. Okay, bye. And bye. I said bye, but you're not leaving.
Yes.
This is painful. This is so painful. Okay, let's keep going.
She looked like something was weighing on her mind then as well.
It's also not far from where we were dropping those leaves.
Huh. Leaves?
Oh, right. We were so busy matching couplets we forgot to mention.
Interesting. I wonder... could Miss Callie Roy have been the one who wrote that poem on the leaf?
What makes you say that?
Oh, sorry. Nothing. Well, nothing concrete. Just a hunch, I guess. It's just... that poem on the leaf kinda gave me the same feeling as when I saw her yesterday. So much sadness.
Now that you mention it, this is upstream from where we found the poem.
Huh? Hey, look! Over there! Another leaf! Wow, you're right! And this one has writing on it
Hey, Beau, just to catch you up with what's going on since you can't hear it or see it.
Yes. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Mika said that Callie is maybe the one who wrote the original Leaf poem, and then there's a leaf on the water, and they were like, look, there's another leaf with a poem on it, and then that's what just happened. But
Okay,
we're not done yet. I just stopped the scene in the middle because I wanted you to know what was happening.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Okay, just kidding. I stopped it right after before the last line. I said after that leaf. Okay, so now we're running after the leaf. Wow, wow, wow. And now I'm swimming in the water. Oh, look, a chest! I'm gonna go get this
Okay,
chest.
So I kind of have it on my phone. I'm not sure how well it's coming up on my phone, so I can't see like all the precise nuances of exactly what's going on. But I can see Lumine thrashing about in water.
I saw a chest that I've missed like 3 times.
Is this an answer from this world?
So we had to go get it. Okay, here we go.
Da-na-na-na. That's what happens when a cloud opens a chest.
Oh, wait, is that really?
No. It's what happens when Link opens a chest.
I don't know. I've never really played any of the Zelda games, and I've never played Final Fantasy. So I was like, is it? I really don't know. Oh man, do it again. So now I'll know.
The one thing I know from Final Fantasy has the like. So I'm gonna do this in like Peter Griffin sounds, but like,
Okay.
Like that's Final Fantasy, right, chat? And then
What?
and then
Like a fanfare.
Yeah, I think that's like when you
Okay.
like win a battle or something
Like
like that.
da 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 da, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's like that kind of a thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I think
okay.
so. I think
Okay.
so. Like chat will help us figure this out if that sounds about right. But then whenever Link opens a chest in a game, well, there's actually 2 phases, right? There's the build-up where it's kind of like he doesn't just like open a chest. He's kind of like kind of looks at it and he's kind of like putting his hands on the side and he's just kind of gently tipping it back and then like pushing the the lid off kind of thing.
Okay.
So like kind of there is sometimes like a build-up like a and then it's like and as I think some people in chat sort of said like some people kind of go like you got the thing. It's kind of how
that is very like a dramatic build up because it's kind of like an unresolved. I don't know because it like goes up like that. It's a little musically. It's a little it's extra dramatic.
It is. It really is. It is like that sort of build up and then a da-na-na-na. It's like it's a very good little. It's a nice little sort of 1-2 of music. Like
So I've
very
never
simplistic thing,
really played any of the Zelda games. I did once play a little bit of
Breath of the Wild,
no,
right?
yes. So I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild and then I gave up. And then I also like before that, someone I knew had what's Skyward Sword, I think, is the one that was on the Wii.
Yes, that's right.
So I played like for like 10 minutes. I like ran around and I cut grass.
No,
'Cause you
that's
could do
funny
that,
in
like,
Skyward
with the
Sword because
sword.
it's got the really good like sort of motion controls and stuff. So that
Yeah, so I
that's,
did
like, fun.
that like for like 10 minutes. And then I didn't even get past the tutorial for Breath of the Wild, I think. But I think when Erica and I finish Kingdom Hearts 2, I think we're gonna play Ocarina of Time.
So jealous.
'Cause she loves that game. And by we, I mean she'll be playing it and I'll be watching.
Can I like lie on the floor underneath the microphone
Yes.
and like voice all the characters or something?
Wait, do none of the characters speak in the Zelda games?
Not in Ocarina of Time. Only it's only in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that they begin to. occasionally.
They're just silent?
Yeah, it's just like text and stuff. They may have like little noises and stuff, like the Gorons might be kind of like,
Oh.
or whatever kind of thing.
You know what?
But
no,
other than that, it's
no
like,
judgment from me as a, famously silent protagonist character. No judgment from me that they never speak. Because, you know what? I get it. Same. Oh, same.
Yeah, I mean, Link does sort of have like. Hang on, I will just turn my mic down for this. But Link does kind of have like, sort of like, ha, 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 kind of like that kind of stuff. But, but he's not like, yo, Zelda, what's up,
Hey.
or anything like that.
Or he doesn't go like, he
Hey,
doesn't go
girl.
like, hey, babe.
Hey.
hey, girl.
Yeah, she's not like, Ganondorf was like totally talking to my father, and I think he's totally up to something. We need to get the 3 gems, 1 from a dead tree, 1 from a Goron-filled boulder cave, and 1 from inside a giant fish, and we need to assemble them all together, and then we need to stop him because he's being mean to my daddy, or anything like that. No.
To my daddy. Okay, but
Whatever that
maybe,
voice was, it went all over the place, and I do
maybe
apologize for it.
that should be her voice.
But that also kind of made it funnier as well.
maybe that should be her voice. Okay.
So,
I support it.
in my Wind Waker playthrough, I voiced Ganondorf as an Australian. But in Ocarina of Time, maybe he could be Rubius Hagrid, keeper of keys and games at Hogwarts. Who knows?
Okay. I don't know who Ganon is, but I never got.
Will the
Who's
nerdy
Ganon?
clarinetist? Ganon and Ganondorf are the baddies of Zelda. I don't
Oh,
really
those are
fully know
two
how to
different people.
Well, they're different but the same. See, this is the weird thing. I kind of don't fully know how to explain it myself. Basically, Ganon is kind of like some kind of like ultimate embodiment of evil, but like Ganondorf is one of his kind of like reincarnations or personifications of Ganon kind of thing. It's like Ganon is kind of like this evil entity that like keeps coming back, and Ganondorf is one of his kind of like reincarnations sort of thing. But then Ganon himself is kind of a reincarnation of
then,
another
yeah, why
villain,
aren't
the
they
one
just
from
both
Skyward
Ganon?
Sword. Yeah, and it's also not very subtle, but I mean, again, when Zelda's like, this guy called Ganondorf is like, it's like, yeah, he's got the name Ganon in the name. He's probably like Ganon, yeah.
Right. We can assume
it's not,
they're maybe connected.
yes. Yes, Zonda, Van Danendorf, yes. So
Will, thank you for the super chat. Sorry
Yes,
we're
thank
having
you, Will.
tech
Sorry, I was-
issues.
But anyway, on with the poetry.
But yeah, I will give Remy a treat, but he actually is okay. Okay, he is asleep right now, and he made a fort. Like, he like knocked all my pillows down on my bed and has made like a nest for himself in the middle of all my pillows. And I have this one. Okay, so do you know that thing where beds, like sometimes you have like pillows that go like this, but then there's sometimes one long pillow that goes like all the way across?
Okay, right, yes.
Okay, so I have one of those long pillows that goes all the way across, and so he climbed on top of the long pillow and then knocked the pillows behind it down so he could be like laying on the long pillow but supported on his back with the other. So anyway, yeah, he's made a little castle, so I am gonna give him treats, but once he wakes up, because he looks very comfortable. I don't want to wake up.
Very comfortable.
Yes. Beau, should you give your disclaimer about being British?
Yeah.
Do you
But
need
yes.
to give the disclaimer again?
So this accent is an English one. I was born and raised in England, but I've lived in America for over 5 years now, coming up on 5.5 years. I even just recently got my green card, which is an amazing thing, which basically means I'm now like a permanent resident of America kind of thing. Like it's not, I've kind of like hopped from like temporary thing to temporary thing. Which is like sort of very stressful and expensive.
Yeah.
But now I got the green card, which is also very expensive. But like now that's it. Like I'm a permanent resident of America now. Like I can't vote, but I can live and work here kind of like indefinitely now, sort of thing. Like I mean, you need to like renew it and stuff.
It's
but
amazing.
But it's amazing. Yeah, it's a huge deal. Like for
It's
anyone who doesn't know
truly
about like
amazing.
the American immigration system, just it's a huge deal. It was such, this
Yeah.
year's kind of been like a bit of a weird and crummy year in a bunch of ways, but like that is just one of the most best and amazing things that could have
Yeah.
possibly happened, and that has happened in like the entirety of like my 5.5 years here. So
And you
yeah,
have a
it's-
really
it's
great
amazing.
American accent that you do. As
oh,
Chongun.
well, thank you.
It's much better than my British accent. Which,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
very
I'm
sweet.
not going to say is bad. But I'm also not going to say it's good. Okay, this is the last side tangent before we can continue the story. But, okay. In playing Kingdom Hearts, a character appeared who I'd never heard of before. And this character is Scrooge McDuck. And I
Oh, right.
did not know who this was. And then Erica was like, just like read it in a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Which I cannot do. Yet. The caveat being, I can do accents for projects when I've worked on them. I have a really good ear, so I can pick up accents well when I've done work on them. On the fly, when I don't really know what it's supposed to sound like, not so great. And so I did my Scrooge McDuck, but it was actually just like a Cockney accent.
Oh no.
And Erica was like, "What is happening?" But to be fair, I had never heard Scrooge McDuck before, so therefore, I feel like it's not my fault. But yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it
Th-
wasn't-
like,
it
sort of
wasn't great.
Canonically speaking, there are kind of like two major sort of like Scrooge McDuck voices in a sense. There's like the old school original Alan Young Scrooge McDuck, which is the one from like the. So,
Okay.
so presumably that means you've never seen or at least until before that stream, you've never seen the sort of Disney sort of Mickey Mouse, like A Christmas Carol,
No.
like during the holidays or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really charming and lovely, and I hope
I
that
also
that's not
haven't seen
I hope that's not
DuckTales.
and I hope that's not breaking any SAG rules by saying that. I don't think it does because it's animation, but
I
yeah.
think
Anyway,
we're okay with animation.
I think that's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
I think.
yeah,
I don't know.
But,
actually.
but yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
I think- basically it's like if it's okay to talk about it, there's like a Mickey Mouse, like A Christmas Carol. It's very charming and very wonderful. But if it's if you're not allowed to talk about it, then
I don't know. We'll just talk about Kingdom Hearts because we are allowed to talk about video games.
but then the and then the other one is like the David Tennant Scrooge McDuck as well from the recent series, and he was very good as well.
I also haven't seen that.
But yeah, I never watched the original DuckTales. I've only seen like the first season of the new one, but it's very good. It's very good.
Will, thank you for the super chat again. Okay, first of all, Will is trying to say that Rosaria is not at fault for killing Timmy's pigeons, but I think we all know the truth, and that is that Rosaria is at fault, and Rosaria will be in jail forever. The end. I put Rosaria in jail because she killed Timmy's pigeons. Timmy is a character. I'm realizing you don't know who Timmy is. Timmy is a character in Genshin.
No, I know them. I've seen the clip.
Okay, good. And you also know that Rosaria is at fault.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the clip. So you know
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yep.
Okay, let's look at this leaf.
Why does it have to float so quickly?
I think basically if you're talking about there was like a $2 super chat earlier, and it asked about Chongyun's ice. It was basically kind of like a Pokemon partner for Chongyun. I don't know for sure, and I never like getting too much into like what would Chongyun think about this or that or whatever kind of thing. But I mean, I'd like to think it would be some kind of ice type. I don't really know what because I've sort of talked about this on my own streams a little bit, kind of thing. I don't really know what ice type would be like the perfect one for Chongyun, kind of thing. Because there are like the sort of ice cream Pokemon, like Vanillish and Vanillux and all that kind of thing. Maybe they could be a good choice because they're kind of similar to his Popsicles. But then there are other ice types that maybe could be kind of interesting and good and useful as well.
Yeah. Well, I
but
don't really know much about Pokemon at all. But I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I can understand why you would be hesitant to say, like, you know, because you really love Pokemon.
Illusion shattered.
So it's like I could see how it could be hard to pick one.
No, it is. Yes, yeah, exactly. Because there's just, I mean, there are a lot of ice types to choose from, and I'm not sure if there is like a perfect Pokemon that exists for Chongyun. So it's kind of like, well, which are the ones that do exist?
Right.
Is say like then the best fit for him. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there actually is like a Pokemon out there that is like a perfect fit for Chongyun.
Yeah.
But I don't know of the ones of like the 1,000. I know that's really weird 'cause it's like there are 1,000 of them. Surely it's like no, like it doesn't
But
exist.
it's like
Yeah.
like I get it. It's hard to. Well, first of all, I have trouble with favorites just in general.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Sorry. I just had to fight these people, and I had Hydrolumine, and Hydrolumine is just like, for my team, is not. It just, her gameplay is when she uses certain fighting moves, she loses HP, which I don't like.
Oh.
So I'm switching her to Dendro. I like everyone saying, go Geo Traveler, and then I immediately change her to Dendro. Sorry! My bad! Okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's go look. Everyone was like, Geo! And then I immediately changed her. Sorry! Okay, let's go get this leaf.
Can't you just fly over and
I
grab
believe in you, Sarah.
I believe in you.
What if Paimon accidentally falls into the water?
Oh. What? Okay, so the leaf keeps moving. Paimon was afraid to get in the water.
Oh, of course.
Ah. Here we go. All right, so now we're gonna go get the thing. Get the thing, do the thing. Get the leaf, read a poem.
That kind of links back to Canada because it's like Canada has the leaf on its flag.
Oh yeah! It all comes together.
Comes full circle, except
Full circle.
we've still got ages left of this event left to do. So.
Wait, really?
No, I don't know. But it's like, but we closed the, but there's still more to do. We've closed the circle too early.
Yeah. Okay, so we're picking up the fallen leaf.
We finally caught it.
Okay.
Are the words still legible, or have they been washed out?
Looks like the ink's intact. Let Paimon take a look at what it says.
Okay, I'm gonna read the poem. Poem on fallen leaf. The desire remains, but the time is past. The boy by the spring grows frail too fast. But when dreams flow to fruition, where streams join the sea, we'll journey on in endless reverie. Aww. It's so sad. Okay. What do you think about the poem, Beau?
Forgotten. I've forgotten it already.
You've forgotten it already. That's
Yes.
fair. That's fair.
I found the rhyming of the word reverie impressive, but now I can't remember what it rhymed with.
It was with the word sea.
There we go. Okay, that was
So
good.
sea reverie. I think as you have to put the emphasis
Emphasis.
on the end. Basically, it's like the boy like grew like like she still has love for him in her heart, but the time has passed. So,
Aw.
you know, like sad face.
Huh?
Okay, let's see.
What rhymes with sad
Related
face?
to the boy who wrote it yesterday.
Sad face.
Bad place.
Bad place.
Spring.
That's hilarious.
Young boy. It's looking a lot like Callie Roe was the one who wrote this. She seems to care a lot about that story, huh? Actually, when Paimon first saw her, Paimon was wondering, do you think... is it possible that she's,
Let's just focus on finding her first.
Based on the current and accounting for wind strength, everyone, please follow me.
Okay, so now we're following Mika because we're gonna go find Callie. Oh wow.
Sounds like
they,
a plan.
They keep talking about the stream. They keep being like, the flow of the water is bringing the letter or the leaf over to this area. But in fact, I don't believe that is how the flow of water would go.
You don't believe.
I feel the flow of water for the leaf, if we're starting here, it would go down this way, or this way to the ocean. I do not think it would go this way, and then it was over here, I think. So, I don't know. I'm suspicious.
This should be far enough upstream. Let's split up and search the area.
Okay, so now we're searching the area.
Callie Roe!
Oh, okay, so now I hope she's there because we're supposed to look at her with the elemental vision.
Oh, yes.
Mods, is this the time? Xander! Is this the time?
Oh, there we go. I was like, what happened to my chat?
Craven!
Speaking of streams, remember to like and subscribe to this one.
She's surrounded by hilly trails.
Because you'll probably all clicked like on the first attempt at this stream when the one that broke, and then so like this one as well. Like
How
both
come
streams.
Nothing happened.
This is order.
This is order, says Zhongli. So I'm looking at her with the elemental vision. Is that what's supposed to happen? Well, I want to know what happens if I look at another person with it. What happens if I look at a normal person with it? Oh, like me, I'm gray. Is that what they do? Oh, okay. So I'm doing elemental vision, and when I do it on myself, I'm gray. But when I do the elemental vision on Callie Roe, she's blue.
Well, Sarah, in the game you may be grey, but in real life I think you're great.
Oh, look at you with your poetry!
Illusion shattered.
You are a poet. You just didn't know it.
Didn't know it.
Ah! Oh no! Oh no! There's enemy reinforcement.
Stabilize.
Stabilize! Oh no! Ah!
Shine down.
It's really good that you can't really see what I'm doing. Because this is
I mean,
this is not great.
I mean, I can see well enough to know it's not going well. But I was also thrown off by Xander. Xander put like blue da boo dee-da, and I just wondered if that was an attempt at like I'm blue da ba dee da ba die. There's another music reference.
I love it. Yeah, Xander, is that what you meant? But yeah, I did notice that Callie Roe was blue.
Oh, it was.
Oh yay! You got the reference, Beau.
I was. Can I just say I was like so happy when that song came up in Iron Man 3. Like they have a flashback scene at the beginning of Iron Man 3, and they have that song, and I was like I understood that reference.
I feel like I've seen Iron Man 3, but I don't remember it. Actually,
Yeah, they like flash back to some party. It's like a New Year's Eve party that like Tony Stark was at back when he was a jerk.
oh,
before
yeah.
You know, kind of thing. And then he's like a jerk to Guy Pearce, and but like to the tune of "I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba."
Well, so Erica and I were
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
recently talking about the song, and I was saying how I thought for the
Oh.
longest time that it was "I'm blue, if I was green, I would die."
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Like,
I
I'm
like it
blue,
though.
if I was green, I would
Green, I
die.
would
If I
die.
was green, I would
Oh my
die.
gosh.
And then Erica said there was another one that people thought it was, where it's like, I'm blue. I don't know. There's another one that people thought it was, but it's not. It's I blue, dabba dee dabba die. But I thought it was, if I was green, I would die. So, yeah, no. But I thought for the longest time, that's what
I mean,
the
good
lyrics
thing
were.
that's not true, because all of your members are green in the chat, and we wouldn't want that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So,
It rhymes
yeah.
as well.
It's good that is not what the lyrics are, but I thought for the longest time that that's what the lyrics were. And Erica was like, that's really funny. I don't know. It's one of
yes,
those things where, like, if someone tells you that that's what the lyrics are to something, you just believe it when, you know?
Right, yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to sing the non-copyrighted version in case you don't get so you don't get a copyright strike. So I meant to sing was like, hang on, I need to think about this. Hang on, like, the wheels on the bus go around, and the wheels on the bus, they go round and around.
Okay, so I do feel like I'm sure people do get song copyrights for singing, but I don't know what it says that I sing a lot of different songs.
No, I know. I like
It's
joke
never
about
happened
it
to me.
kind of thing.
Is it
I like
because there's not like music?
I like joke about it and stuff like that because I don't really know what like how like YouTube does things or whatever, but I just joke like because at the end of Pokemon Violet, when I did Pokemon Violet, at the very end they play like an Ed Sheeran song that they like include in the game and it plays over the credits.
Really?
Yeah, and so I like muted it because I was like I don't want to get a copyright strike just in
Yeah.
case, like, you know, just like having like silence and Ed Sheeran
What
song
was
in
the
the
Ed
background or
Sheeran
whatever.
song? The Ed Sheeran song was like,
Um
Violet,
no,
cool like a violet.
I can't remember what it was now, and I have to sing it to the tune of "Wheels on the Bus" if I do remember it. but that's where the "Wheels on the Bus" joke came from. I just
I don't
sung.
even. What are Ed Sheeran
I
songs?
sung I sung "The Shape of You," but to the "Wheels on the Bus," but I can't remember. Also, hi Daniel. I saw Daniel in chat from Good Vibes Gaming. Yeah, no. Oh, what? Hang on, what is it? Oh, Celestial. Celestial. That's it. Do you know Celestial?
No.
I don't know if anyone put that in chat. Oh, okay. So to the tune of "Wheels on Bus," it would kind of go like. Hang on, I'll turn down the volume a bit. It'd be like, the wheels go. Hang on. The wheels go round. The wheels go round. Oh, the wheels go round. Like that's the tune of it, kind of thing.
Yay! But instead of the wheels go round, it's going Violet.
Well, it's Celestial.
Violet!
It's like Celestial.
Oh.
Celestial.
But that's how's that related? Because it's
Oh.
Pokemon Violet.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's just they got him to do like a few Pokemon songs, and
I feel like
I don't think
I'm
it
not
has
trying
anything to do with
critique Ed
anything.
Sheeran, but I'm just saying.
No, I know it really does. Like it has nothing to do with like Scarlet or Violet. It has nothing to do with like the plot of the game, the names of any Pokemon. It's just like an Ed Sheeran song that he like sung on Stephen Colbert Live once, and it's
Oh
at the
my
end
gosh.
of the game.
Oh my gosh. What if the song had just been Pokemon names? And it had just been like Pikachu, Jigglypuff.
So sorry, I missed a bit there. Did you say to like Ed Sheeran songs, but just
Yes.
with Pokemon names? Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's like an Ed Sheeran song, but like instead of any of the words, it's just Pokemon.
Right. So like kind of like Pikachu, Raichu, Growlithe, Snorlax.
Yes!
Like, right.
Yes! I love this idea. Man, they need to ask us for our input next time because these are some bomb ideas. Okay, so we just saved Callie Rowie. I think I see out of the corner of my eye a gurgle, which are from the event with the Oasis thing, and they're like water specter things. So I'm very interested to see what is happening. Okay, let's play it.
What's that? It's a huge water droplet.
It's a gurgle!
This is exactly what I saw the other day.
A large water droplet? Callie Rowie?
Huh? Why are you all looking at me like that?
It's because you're a gurgle!
My body, is it?
Oh no.
That voice is definitely Callie Roy's.
How did this happen? Please wait a moment.
Okay, so she was a water droplet,
no.
but then
Did I use
she
up too
just
much
turned back
energy?
into a human.
Oh.
But that means, okay, because in Genshin, some of the water, like, they can take the shape of people. like
Right.
like the hydro element waters. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we call
Like
them gurgles because in this one event, the water droplets wouldn't speak. They would just go gurgle. Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
hydro eidolons, or / oceanids. And they would just go gurgle, gurgle, like it would just be those words. So we call them gurgles.
Okay.
But anyway, now she's back into her
So,
human
so
form.
basically, they're like Hydro Man from Spider-Man, kind of thing for people who know Spider-Man. I mean, obviously, like you guys know Spider-Man. Like, who's Spider-Man?
I know who
But,
Spider-Man
like,
is.
Specifically, Hydro Man from
I don't know
Spider-Man.
I don't know.
So basically, he's like a guy who can like turn into water. Like that,
Okay.
That's it. Like he can like dissipate into water, and then he can like shape himself back into a man, and stuff like that.
Oh, so yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing.
Great. I didn't know what that was, but now I know. Okay. So she's like, oh no.
How did you... What's going on here? Miss Callie Rowe, are you some kind of adeptus?
No. I'm so sorry for deceiving you all for so long. Actually, I'm an Oceanid who flowed here from Fontaine long ago.
What's an Oceanid?
Ah, the Grandmaster has mentioned them before. The Oceanids were the familiars of the former Hydro Archon. They all fled Fontaine after the Archon died and settled across the world.
That's correct. Though, to tell you the truth, I can't even completely recall how I found myself here. I have a vague impression of my ancestral home, but I can't recall clearly anything I saw on my journey. All I know is that by the time I arrived in Mondstadt, I had lost most of my power and couldn't even sustain a physical form. Eventually, I settled in a place called Springvale, where I slowly began to regain my power.
Wait.
Springvale is a serene and beautiful place. The water that flows through there is clear and pure, just like the hearts of the people who dwell there.
Where is Springvale? Is that in Mondstadt, y'all? No. Yes. No? Mods. Tell me if it's in... Okay. It is in Mondstadt. Okay. Isn't that where Diona's from? And her dad? Okay. Things are coming together. Yes. Okay.
So you're the
Oh, yeah.
fairy of
That's all coming
Springvale?
together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Diana. And I remember you too.
I finally like picked it because I think we've had multiple times like just in the past where like that's come up and I've always like been too slow to like come up with that joke. Like Xander or someone in chat will always like remind me of
so
yeah.
good.
You'll say it or whatever and I'll be like, oh crud, I could have done the crunk line, but I remembered it there.
It was
there.
perfect. Okay.
Really? You're not messing with me, are ya?
I always thought that was just a local legend.
Wait, okay, so they said, you're the spring fairy. Okay. Okay, y'all. Help me out here. In the event where it was the Adepti event, didn't they talk about there was that person who came to visit the like waterfall because She was looking for a fairy. Is that Callie Rowie? Is this tying everything together? Let me know in the chat. We're gonna keep going.
Your favorite little pillow, the fish one, its name is Bubbles, is it not? Yep! All those childhood memories. So they weren't just a dream. So, if this is true, then all those things written on the leaves...
The moonlight flows like silken honey. The boy by the spring grows old and frail.
I see. So you were the ones who found my leaf. Well, you are correct. The spring fairy and heart of Clear Springs is me. No wonder you were asking us so many questions about it. So, the boy from the story is Finch. I always loved listening to people's dreams.
Who is
and
Finch?
Still do to this
What?
day. Whether they're beautiful, sad, or filled with emotions I couldn't understand at the time. One night, a little boy came to the spring. The tears that fell from his face were more fragile than a moonbeam and purer than the morning dew.
Okay, to catch you up, Beau, Callie Rowie is the spring fairy in Springvale, which is a place in Mondstadt. And then she was like, the boy that I fell in love with, because remember the poem was about a boy who grew frail and old? Okay, there was a boy. She goes, it was Finch! Who is Finch? Oh.
Well, I think someone commented about Finch earlier, wasn't he? The peasant from the diner.
From the
He didn't pay
diner.
his jack.
I guess he's okay. So he's an old guy who lives in Springvale. But how are we supposed to know that? I just feel like Callie Rowie was like, it's Finch, like as if we were supposed to know.
It is funny when there are things like games and stuff like that where they say like, it's Finch, and it's like, of course.
I was like,
Who's Finch?
who was that?
That guy from 25 hours ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I'm like, who? But I'm guessing we will be reintroduced to Finch. But wow. Okay, I guess we'll keep going.
I like humans and wanted to understand them better. I also wanted to make sense of the feelings contained in his tears that were then a mystery to me.
And so you became friends.
Yes, we often met under the stars, sharing our stories with one another. Sometimes we'd stay up all night and see who would hear the first bird chirping from the boughs or the first cicada of summer. Aw, that sounds lovely. But one day, just like the book says, I saw an emotion in Finch's eyes that I couldn't reciprocate. I felt out of my depth, in uncharted waters. But I knew all too well that we Lockfolk face a very different fate from that of humans. Whatever was happening, I didn't want it to lead to Finch writing a chapter of his life that he would later come to regret. So, I fled, and never appeared before him again. Oh, Callie Rowie. My strength returns very slowly, and even after decades, I can only sustain a physical form for a very short time. I once hoped that Finch would be able to move on, and meet me when the stars in the night sky have all gone out. But after seeing so many people's stories, and hearing about all their dreams, I have gradually come to understand Finch's heart. This feeling of wanting to respond to his feelings is surging relentlessly in my chest, and I can no longer restrain it. But I'm also scared. Scared that if I go and see him now, I'll bring nothing but disappointment, and even more pain when it comes time to part.
Aww.
It really is a difficult choice.
Please go see him.
Huh?
I know Grandpa Finch, and he's a really kind person. When I was struggling to learn how to draw maps, he was always encouraging me, telling me not to give up, always keep trying, and get out there and have some adventures. He often tells me stories about his past, but I've never once seen a look of regret or sadness in his face. And even though Grandpa Finch loves adventures, he still stands there by the spring every day, as if he's waiting for something. I believe that he's serious about his feelings for you, Miss Callie Roe. He's never stopped hoping that he'll see you again one day. So if you want to see him too, then what are you waiting for?
Wow, Mika. That was great. Didn't know you had that in you.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit too excited and I just thought, well, it just sort of came out.
I understand. That settles it. I've decided. I will go back and see Finch.
You will? Amazing! That's great!
But I'd like to ask all of you for some help.
Sure. Just say the word. We'll help you any way we can.
Would you come to Springvale with me and help to bring Finch to my side? I cannot maintain this form for much longer, and I'm worried others will see me how I was just before.
Leave it to me. I'm really close with Grandpa Finch.
Also, please keep Finch's in my secret. I wouldn't want Springvale's tranquil waters to become agitated on account of all this.
Don't worry.
Your secret is safe with me.
I won't tell anyone. That's a promise.
Great. I can't thank you all enough.
What's wrong? Are you gonna turn back into a water droplet?
No, I'm sorry. It's just that my mind's racing. As much as I want to talk to him again, I'm still worried that I won't have the words when the time comes.
I have an idea. Write him a poem.
A poem?
All the things you hide deep inside your heart. Everything you never had the chance to say.
Okay, good idea. I'll write him a poem. And it will be called Heart of Clear Springs.
Aww. Okay, so, Beau, since you can't see or hear anything, basically...
No, I know that was a very long time to
I
not
know.
be able to hear
I
anything.
know, I was like, everyone speak faster. Okay, so, basically, Callie Roe is like, I just didn't want to ruin his life because I'm a water droplet and the water droplets, live forever, but they also
Yeah.
she can't keep her human form for very long. So she's like, I saw in his eyes that he, loved me, but it was too, I didn't want to make him regret.
No, yeah.
Whatever. And then they were like, you should do it. You should go talk to him. And Mika was like, Grandpa Finch is amazing. And so she was like, okay, I'll do it. But don't tell anyone. And then Chongyun was like, I'll keep your secret. And I was like, Lumine was like, I'll keep your secret. And then...
And you write a poem or something?
And then, oh yeah. And then, ah! Oh no, sorry. I'm getting attacked. I should just teleport.
And then she was like, okay, so there once was a man named Finch.
Yeah.
We'll go find him in a pinch.
Yeah! Yeah, basically, they were like, she was like, I don't know what to say. I want to say the right thing, but I don't know what to say. And so then, anyway.
No,
then
it's
we were
fine.
like,
But
write a
that's
poem.
like, so whilst I was just sitting there silently, I was just thinking of Pokemon Ed Sheeran songs and stuff. I'm in love with the shape of Mew. His albums would be Postle and Minun because he has the plus and minus ones, right? And stuff like that.
I love it.
Oh,
That's
and then the other
hilarious.
thing I thought of as well, because speaking of coming full circle and connections and stuff like that, I talked about Hydro Man from Spider-Man, and it's just funny because Daniel in chat, so if you've seen him in chat, Evernight Studio, he's part of a really brilliant video game channel called Good Vibes Gaming. So if you like your video
Hi,
games,
Daniel.
go subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming. They're really awesome.
Yeah.
And one of Daniel's colleagues is a very awesome dude named Ash. full name Ash Paulson, the son of Rob Paulson, legendary voice actor and one of my heroes and sort of personal inspirations for like getting into this business. And Rob was the voice of Hydro Man in Spider-Man. So I made a reference to a character whose IRL son is sort of friends and work colleagues with someone in chat, if that's not stretching connections too much.
The connections are there. The connections are there. I'm seeing it. That's amazing. But also, I feel like for someone who says you don't know references, you actually do know a lot of references.
I know, I do. It's just, there's just
You
a
just
lot
said
of music stuff I don't know.
You just said several Ed Sheeran titles and made them into Pokemon puns. But
that's because I've turned Ed Sheeran into a meme in my own streams and stuff like that. Like I've had to like research Ed Sheeran.
Oh, that's funny. I love that. Okay, so now we're going to find Finch, who we weren't sure who he was, but now we guess we know. I don't know.
Yeah, we kind of know.
I guess he always stands by the springs.
He's like, I love the young people.
I love the water here.
It's nothing. I'm just scared that I won't be able to maintain this form much longer.
Okay, don't panic. Wait here, Callie Roe. I'll go fetch Grandpa Finch.
Take it slow, Diona. Finch isn't a young man anymore. He's not as steady on his feet.
Callie just said, Finch isn't, like, take it slow. Like, don't rush Finch because he's an old man. Wow, Callie Roe. Wow. Maybe if you're that worried about him, like, stumbling and falling, maybe you should go to him, okay? Wow.
I can still hold on a bit longer.
Okay, stay strong. You can do it.
Oh my gosh, we're like chasing everyone down in this event. Okay, so now Diona went to go get him, but now we're running up a path, so I'm confused. Are we going to him? What's happening? Oh, look, a mushroom. I think we're going to him. Yep, there he is. Although, okay. I have something to say. I have something to say. Okay? All of the, like, old people in this game, except, like, Madam Ping, are just, like, young, but they, like, kind of, I don't know. They don't look that old. And I have questions. I have questions. This is supposed to be a very old man. He does not have a gray hair on his head. Okay? Wow.
Is that Diona? You're back early today.
Okay, I guess he does have, like, wrinkles.
Oh, yeah, hang on, there we go. Okay, yeah. But that is very dark hair for, like...
So he does have wrinkles, so maybe he just dyes his hair.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna, yeah, that is very, very dark hair for, like, someone who's supposed to be, like, very, very old.
But, yeah, okay. I guess he does. He's got like wrinkles, so that's like, okay, he's older. Okay, that's true. Not all old men have gray hair. Okay, y'all are right.
Yeah, but if they're like oldest of the old or whatever, I mean, if they just kind of like, he's like,
I guess you know what?
He's on like the wrong side. Like, if they're saying like, oh, he's on like the wrong side of middle age now, then yeah, like he could have dark hair. But if
I
you're,
guess
like,
that's the question. Like, are they
really
saying,
old.
yeah, because they haven't said how old he is. So are they saying he's just like a little, like he's an old man, or are they saying he's like 100 years old? I guess we don't really know how old he's supposed to be.
I have like a whole rant, well, not sort of like a rant, but I have like a whole thing in me that we'll get to like after this scene, just about like old people and like how like old people are portrayed in media and stuff like that. But we'll get to that in a sec.
I do feel like he looks really great for his age, which is like, you know, good for him. He must have some sort of really nice, you know, he walks down to the springs every day, you know, he's just really active. That's great. Finch, we're happy for you. I'm a little offended that they call him Old Finch.
Right, that's what I mean.
That
Like, I mean,
feels
that would
a little too far.
that would imply he'd have to be like at least like 60s, like at the
Okay,
earliest.
regardless of how old he is, it is rude to call someone. Okay,
Yeah.
can you imagine going up to like an elderly person and being like,
Like,
"Old
oh, hey,
man,
it's old man, old man, yeah, it's old man Jenkins.
old man David." Like that is just rude to say to their face or behind their back. Like that is not nice, you know? Just call him Finch.
I was gonna say you have to set yourself up now, Sarah, because in like 50 years or whatever, like everyone's gonna call you like it's old lady Sarah.
That is not nice, and I will say that to them too. I'll say that is not nice. I wouldn't say that to you. I feel like we're not going to call him Old Finch. We are going to just call him Finch. That is his name. His name is Finch. Wow, wow, wow.
Today's
Okay,
your
here we go.
special day, Grandpa Finch. Can you come with me?
Like they call him Grandpa Finch, and I feel like that's
Where
like
are we going?
Over there.
nice. That's a nice thing because that's like they're like close with him. You know what I mean?
Catch a nice little
Well, it's like
fishy?
less like you either are a grandfather or you're not. Like it's
Well,
more
like, I
objective.
mean, in
whereas,
some
like, whereas
cultures,
old
like-
is
Your
old is
father
a
that I
subjective
go
thing.
to?
Right, but also like I don't think he's their like actual grandpa.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
But I
right,
think-
but
No
it's
need to
right,
get
okay.
about
But
it.
Yeah,
it's
it's like-
still kind of
like
got that,
how
like,
you
well,
call,
he's
like-
a grandfather.
Yeah, like family friends you would call like auntie or like grandpa. You know,
right,
like.
right, okay, yeah. No,
And
no,
I
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
that's like more like a connection, like saying like I have a connection to you. You know, you've like been a part of my life. Being like Old Finch seems mean. Because like you're saying, like what does that when do you transition into being Old Finch? When he hit 35?
Yeah, like again, I'll get back if I do go into my like rant about like how old people are portrayed in media. Like I'll kind of touch upon that as well, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. We'll finish the scene.
That's more
Okay.
like it. Now come on.
Don't call us me more Sarah and poor Peepaw Butt.
It's just like him
I mean, it's
when
very
he
funny.
vanished.
I liked that, but
Okay. Oh, just kidding. It's a scene. Sorry, Beau.
Over here.
Well,
Over
Beau,
here.
you're missing a lot.
It's okay, Grandpa Finch.
I mean,
Take
I'm
your time.
sort of watching like a blurry version of it.
Huh?
The
What's
blursion.
all this? What are all these people doing here? Even Mika's here? How's work been going
Aw,
lately?
Finch is so nice.
And even some friends from abroad, if I'm not mistaken. You do know that today's not my birthday, don't you?
Greetings, Mr. Finch. My name is Chongyun. We all met at the poetry gala, and, well, there's someone we'd like to introduce you to.
Finch.
There's someone we'd like to introduce you to, but you already know her.
Voice. Callie Rowe.
I didn't think you'd still remember.
Oh, I remember. I remember all right. How could I ever forget? Although your appearance is different than I recall. Back then, you looked like you'd stepped right out of a fairy tale. But I'm one to talk. Of course, a fairy from a fairy tale can change forms. But in your eyes, I'm probably the one who's changed beyond all recognition.
Oh, even after all these years, you still know just what to say to make me laugh.
I thought you were only able to appear in the dead of night. There have been times when I've wondered whether it really was all a dream.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting for so long, Finch.
Oh, it can't have been that long. It's been but the blink of an eye, really.
Finch, would you like to hear a poem I wrote for you?
A poem? You write poetry now? Well, of course. I'd be delighted.
Okay, she's gonna read
to
him the
listen.
poem she wrote.
I'll hang on
There once
every
was a man.
word
There
in
once was a man.
your lips.
In that case,
Sorry. Sorry, I'm ruining a
read you
lovely moment.
story about
I
the
do this, I'm
spring
sorry.
fairy. Far from my native land I roamed. In streams I slept, many seasons I met as the sun set and rose. I searched for a garden to call a home, and the moonlight ebbed as the water flowed. A soft breeze beckoned me unto a spring. Sleep, weary wanderer, your journey is over. May the dancing petals sweeten your slumber. At dawn, I hummed the melody of a distant stream, and the songs in the night serenaded my dreams. A boy's tender tears trembled through the water, stirring me more than any starlight sonata. He wove me a wreath from past petals and future buds. I crossed beyond the veil of dreams to the realm of flesh and blood. Look at the love that shines from his eager gaze. Answer the call of his heart, lest this moment go to waste. The kittens and fireflies invited my heartstrings to sing, but I was a stranger to the melody of mankind, and knew not how this tune should begin. As the river of dreams trickled into the ocean blue, every time a crystal fly flapped its wings, older it seemed he grew. But I learned to fathom human ways each stumbling step I took, and clouds of confusion became crystal clear in the vulnerable verse I wrote. As seed yearns for soil and trees for the sun, a once foreign melody inside my heart sung, and it cried out your name on every string it could strum. Now I give my dream to you. May it be in your slumber a sweet spring to quench your thirst. Now, I hand my heart to you,
Aww.
praying my belated promise might meet, still with your trust.
She said, I give my heart to you.
Yes. This is how I remember you from when we first met.
But he's so old now. He's so
All
much
those years
older.
ago. It really has been a long, old time, hasn't
So
it?
much wasted time.
It's okay. I understand. Your poem, it explains everything.
Wow, he's so understanding.
Please, take this.
Wow.
It's so beautiful.
This is a droplet of water condensed from my own power.
Maybe he can turn into...
Finch, I don't have a physical form like humans.
Why can't she
and
turn
I
him
can't
into a water
stay by your
droplet?
side. I don't know how long it'll be before I can change back into human form again.
Okay, quick pause to just say, Beau, you can't necessarily see it yet, but the two of them are having this like very tender moment, and then
Yeah.
Mika, Diona, Lumine, Paimon, and Chongyun are literally just standing off to the side watching
Standing
this.
there. Yeah.
Just watching. Okay.
But as long as this droplet remains with you, our hearts will always be connected, no matter the distance between us. I will always be one with the spring. From this day onwards, if you call me, I will meet you in your dreams.
The true heart of Clear Springs.
It's so romantic.
Shh.
You've really learned a lot, haven't you? And you don't even mind that the kids are watching.
said you don't even mind that the kids are watching. I think maybe we should mind. I think maybe this is a tender moment. I don't know that we all need to be a part of it.
Does it bother you?
How could it possibly? This is the happiest moment of my life. I just worry that once I go to sleep, I won't ever want to wake up again.
Huh? Don't say that.
I'm only joking. It seems that you still have much to learn.
Okay, well, Finch just made like a kind of
Is that
dark,
right?
morbid joke. And then was like, just kidding.
Grandpa Finch and Kelly Rowie look so happy.
Right up my alley.
Oh, what a
Yeah. You and Finch would get along. It's just
Diona, thank you for fetching Finch for me. I've never forgotten you either.
I used to chat with you a lot. Wasn't it ever annoying?
Of course not. You are one of the truest friends I have in the entire world. That's why I gave you your gift, so that a part of me could always be with you.
Huh?
Wait. So is Diona's ability to mix delicious drinks from disgusting ingredients a blessing from this water spirit? And if so, is it also possible that my pure yang spirit is a gift from some being?
Oh my gosh! Chongyun just asked if his pure yang spirit is a gift from another being. Dun, dun, dun! I wonder...
My physical form is about to disappear. Finch,
Yes?
I've never regretted meeting you or deciding to talk to you that night. Not once. All these long years. Not for a single moment.
It probably goes without saying, but neither have I.
Although, it was different from in the stories. That fateful night, I never gave you that kiss. This gift that represents my promise and my love, I give it to you now.
Paimon, close your eyes. Diona, eyes shut now.
It's okay, everyone.
Okay, the water droplet made out with Finch, and then we all looked away. We all closed our eyes, because we were uncomfortable.
She's gone now.
But we're also now all missing our wallets, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Goodbye, Grandpa Finch.
Don't worry now. She hasn't gone far. Just like she said, she'll always be one with the spring. By our side and in our dreams.
Yay! Okay. Okay. So now you can talk about your feelings about the portrayal of older people in media. The cutscene is over!
We did the thing.
We
So is
did
that
the
actually like it now, or
thing.
is there like, or do you have more stuff to do now?
I think
I didn't see anything. I didn't
it
see anything
says-
saying like it was done, but I also
Yeah.
don't know what you would have left to do.
It says go back to the event venue. So I'm assuming it's almost over.
Oh yeah, because there's like a poetry competition or something.
But I
Oh
thought
yeah,
we already
it's like the poetry.
But I thought we already did the poetry competition. I think there's only one more scene left.
Yeah, we'll get into talking about old people in a second.
Hey, you're all back.
We're talking about old people in a
Looks like
second.
you're in much better spirits than before.
Okay.
Hu Tao's a step ahead. She's already talking about printing a poetry anthology. She said she can't wait for everyone's final words because I'm itching to pull the trigger. By which I assume she meant she eagerly anticipates receiving everyone's freestyle poetry submissions to help her close the deal.
Where have you all been?
I've been waiting here forever.
Perhaps they lacked sufficient inspiration and wished to have an emergency communion with nature. And with any luck, I'll bet they heard some fine poetry along the way.
Code Deaf Bard! Does this mean that right from the start you...
Paimon! We promised.
Oh, right from the start, you said you would treat us to a nice meal.
Huh? Did I?
I think this is worth a meal.
Very well. Since the traveler agrees, then it looks like I can't escape this time. Diona! Dear Diona, could I trouble you to fix us a couple of your delicious beverages?
You wish. All right. Well, normally I'd never agree, but since I happen to be in a good mood today...
Huh? So, just what have you guys been up to all this time? Why does it feel like there are some unspoken words hanging in the air here that everyone is privy to but myself?
Really? Must be the breeze. You're reading way too much into it.
Yeah, that's right. We're just, taking a walk. Inspiration walk, since it worked so well last time.
So even Mika's in on it? Chongyun, how about you tell me what happened on the sly? I've just remembered that I heard about a haunted house recently that you'll definitely want to check out. I'm willing to bet that even your pure Yang spirit won't be able to scare off these demons.
I appreciate the gesture, but no thanks. Not this time.
Aw, Chongyun is a
And
good friend.
I'm starting to think that maybe this pure Yang spirit isn't such a bad thing after all.
Huh? What the? What's gotten into you? Okay, that confirms it. I call shenanigans. Something big definitely went down here.
Quest completed. The end. Wow, wow, wow. This event was so good. Yeah, I like that Chongyun was basically like, I'm not going to tell the secret. It's not my secret to tell.
Yes. That is a good philosophy, Chongyun.
That is very sweet. Okay, so. Now, we finally can hear your thoughts.
Oh, right. No, basically, it's just because we were talking about, Finch, and we are sort of saying about kind of like he's sort of looked old in some ways, but then not in others and stuff. And I don't know what his voice sounded like, so I couldn't hear it. So, but and again, chat, feel free to chime in, if you have examples or agree with things or disagree here and stuff like that. But it's funny, right? So in cartoons, in a lot of cartoons in the 90s and even I don't know, 2000s or whatever, the kind of things I sort of watched, the way that old people are portrayed, right? They're grandparents, right?
Yeah.
In cartoons. Grandparents in cartoons are always they got the wrinkles, they got the grey hair, they got the walking stick, they live in the retirement home. Whether it's Grandpa Simpson or Arnold's grandpa and Hey Arnold, or the Rugrats' grandpa and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They're all that kind of I love the young people kind of they're old. They're old,
Right.
Whereas in reality, and also as well, I mean, I think there was a whole thing kind of culturally where, say, I don't know, in something like the 1950s or 60s or whatever kind of thing, that old people sort of seemed older once upon a time ago than they do now. Like a 60-year-old in, sort of a 60-year-old in the 1970s would sort of look and feel older than a 60-year-old now. 60-year-olds now are quite groovy and with it.
Right.
And, they so it's kind of they dress differently and they behave differently and they're not, they don't sort of I don't know, a woman in her 60s back in the day wouldn't sort of wear any kind of dress that's remotely revealing or anything. And when I say revealing, I mean cover your arms, cover your legs,
Well, also
so
the
just...
average lifespan has lengthened.
And yeah, exactly. So it's kind of with that as kind of well, that's the thing. 60 isn't as old like now as it was back then, kind of thing.
Right.
Like it was more at
Right.
the end. So basically, it's kind of one of those things where, like, if you watch like a movie or a live action TV show now, like it is kind of more reflected that, like, you know, someone who's like in their 50s or even like 60 or something like that isn't like the oldest of the old. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're not
Right.
sort of, you get, like, people, you know. And even if you do, and even in something, you know, like, just there's a lot of media portrayals where it's like, you know, like, yeah, that character wouldn't be old. They would just kind of be more like just like a 50-year-old person kind of thing. Like you know, that's how old grandparents are, and 50 isn't really that old or anything like that.
Right.
But like but I feel like in cartoons, I don't know all the most modern cartoons, so forgive me if there are examples that go against this, but I feel like cartoons are the one thing where you still kind of get this like portrayal that like every grandparent is just like the oldest of the old, you know.
Yeah.
Again, they're like, oh, hello there, Shuddy, and it's, you know, but in like, think about something like Rugrats, you know, it's like the grandpa is kind of like portrayed as like an old man, and it's like probably presumably something like 70 years old, and it's like, but then like the parents are supposed to only be like 30, but none of the like they don't feel like they're only like 30 or whatever. You know, it's sort of like this weird thing where the ages characters are portrayed, like, and in like sort of cartoons and some media and stuff, it's just funny because like I feel like in animation, like grandparents still get that kind of like old walking stick, like the, you know, like the false teeth and all that kind of like cliched stereotype stuff. Whereas that's kind of been dropped from like a lot of like now that's like the great grandfather, you know, the great
Right.
grandpa.
I feel like, okay, so I feel like it is true that in media, like on camera stuff, people are not portrayed like in that, like older people are not portrayed in the way that you're talking about, where it's like very stereotypical and maybe not true to reality. But I do think society still has this interesting thing where there's like time limits on like by a certain age, like by like, you know, by 30 you should have this, by 35 you should be this, by 40
Yeah,
you should be this, by 50
I hate
and
that.
it's not true, but I feel like for some reason our society still holds on to that so much, where it's
yeah, we kind of struggle to like let go of quote unquote typical conventions. Like I get why we get typical conventions, but we should also be quicker in dropping ones that we form and stuff like as time, like we're very slow to like kind of change what our typical conventions are.
Yeah,
and
or like
stuff
or like this idea
just
that
generally.
if you haven't followed your dreams, like if you are 45 and you have a secret dream that you've held into your heart and you never pursued it, it's too late, is this like idea, but it's not true. Like there are so many, like Morgan Freeman, I don't think even started like acting until he was like 40 or 50.
Yeah, there are people like Samuel L. Jackson didn't really get kind of like in big movies until he was like in his 40s. Like Alan Rickman's first big film was Die Hard, and he was quite old like when he did that. Like he wasn't like 22 or anything when he did Die Hard or whatever, you know. He was like in his 30s or maybe even like 40 or something when he did like Die Hard, and you know that was like his first big Hollywood film, and then he went on to like do Harry Potter and everything else. So
it's like it's not true that if you haven't pursued your dreams by a certain age, or like if you in your head you come to a dream later in life, like it isn't true that it's like, well, I might as well not pursue it because I'm beyond a certain age. Like I don't think that's true. I think if you have a dream, it's worth following.
Essentially, I suppose one of the points I was kind of getting at with my original thing is that I'm actually kind of glad that I think in a lot of ways we as a society have changed what we think an old person is, or what say like a 50-year-old is, or a 60-year-old is, or something like that. But it's weird that but I feel like cartoons are something where, or at least for a while, like cartoons kind of held on to the, like, you know, the I said it, Jim, I'm gonna put my teeth in the
I know
back.
exactly
Like they
what
held on to that longer than like live action did or whatever. Again, it might be changing. It's funny because someone said Max from Ben 10, and I did think that, but I do remember watching an episode of Ben 10 where they sort of kind of joke. Basically, the joke was that he's old, and they did a load of like old jokes, kind of thing, like "oh my hip," you know, and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know. So I was kind of like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. But yeah.
I mean, I guess it's hard because there are just like certain like jokes that people like to make, you know. And so I can understand wanting to like stick to that because if it lands or if people find it funny, then they want to write it in. But also like maybe we can be past that. Maybe we can move past that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing. But that's like I can see though from a distance kind of thing. Like until you actually get to like see his face up close, you're like, is this guy like when they say old? What do they mean by old?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like, well, you know. And again, I didn't get to hear his voice, so I don't know if he was like, I've been longing for you my whole life, and you left me, or whether it was like you've been, you know. So I don't know, but
yeah, I'll be interested at some point. You'll have to listen to it. And then,
I will, yes.
And then you'll have to let us know, like, what your thoughts are. But it's also hard, especially in this game, because there are characters in this game that are, like, at least from what we know, have been alive for a very, very long time, and they still look very young. So, like, age specifically in this game is a very interesting thing. And, like, for example, like, Madame Ping is an Adeptus, and the Adepti, like, I think don't really age. Like, they don't, like, I think they don't die. I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But they're very, like, long-lived, and the Adepti, like, can choose how they look, and Madame Ping has chosen to look like an older woman.
Oh, okay.
And so then, like, that was revealed, and it's like, that's interesting then, because they don't have to age if they don't want to. So I do feel like age in Genshin Impact is, like, it's an interesting... Age is already kind of an interesting concept. So I feel like it's interesting that we're talking about this.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, age is just a number.
Just a number. Just a number. Okay, wait.
Right, we have now ticked the box for philosophy.
Philosophy, and we were singing.
we have sung. We have filled our quota for the day. So now we can talk about whatever. Hang on, wait, I got rid of chat. Hang on, I got rid of chat accidentally. There we go.
If you want,
there we go.
I can read a poem that I like. That is a Shakespeare poem.
Is it one of the ones you screenshotted off of Instagram?
It is actually not one of the ones I screenshotted off of Instagram. I thought because I did the event, my commissions, I would have gotten my commissions. Where do I do that? Oh wait, I remember. I have to go to the book. I have to go to the book. I have to go to commissions. No, I didn't get them.
Adventure handbook.
Oh, I have to. Oh, sorry. I have to collect my. Huh? Sorry.
I was like, did I see a blurry hoot owl for a second?
In the book, click the box. How do I click it? I can't click it. It won't let me click it. I think because maybe because I started to do it. Oh, just kidding. Yay, I got them. Okay. I did it. Okay, yeah, I can read this poem that I like.
Thank you for completing.
No, go for it.
And I know this.
I won't throw in any jokes or be silly.
It's actually in a movie that Alan Rickman is in.
Ah.
So it all ties together.
It does. Okay. We're coming back full circle again. How many circles have we done? I'm getting dizzy.
So we're doing what is it? What's it when it's like a circle inside of a circle inside of a circle?
What, concentric circles? So
yes!
a spiral?
That's it. Okay, we're gonna read a poem. And then, I don't know.
Do you
Beau
want
is
to
gonna
send the
s-
poem?
Beau
Do
is
you want
gonna
to send the? Do you want to send the poem to me and then I'll do
I'm
it in an
gonna
Alan?
send.
I'll do it in an
yeah.
Alan
No,
Rickman
you're gonna
voice.
do it in your voice.
Oh, not Alan Rickman.
No, your voice.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do Alan Rickman.
Okay, well you could do Alan Rickman's voice.
No, because then I'll just turn it into a joke. Because I'll just do like the sort of Snape, but with like all the the pausing and stuff like that.
You can do whatever
no,
your heart
no,
desires. I just
no,
texted
no,
it to you.
no, you read. No, you read the poem.
No,
'cause
you
it's your
read
poem.
it.
No, you read.
You have a British accent, and this is Shakespeare, and I feel like it's better.
But you actually know what the poem is.
You know what? You're gonna discover it as you read it. It's gonna.
No, please
drop
don't
my
make me
phone.
do this.
I won't make you do it. I won't make you do it if you don't want to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We can both read it if you want. You could do 2 lines, and then I could do 2 lines. Okay.
No, I just
Okay.
want you to read it.
Okay, I'll read it.
That's very kind of you, but thank you.
Okay. Ahem. Ahem. Is everyone ready? Everyone ready? Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm sure many of you know this poem. It's a very well-known poem because it's Shakespeare. Okay, here we go. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Yay!
Aw.
So now we had a poem, we had philosophy, and we had a song, several songs.
See, that's the
But
thing. You're a fan of the poem with the phrase "wandering bark," and I'm a fan of the phrase "anyway bark."
Anyway, Bark. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I like poems about things like hope and love.
Oh yes, yes.
Because I feel like we may have talked about this before, but I feel like there's a lot in life that's out of our control.
Yes.
But something that we can control is like what we're gonna find like the beauty in, you know, that like our perspective is something that we can control. And
Right. Can I just say on a very like small note, that's a very big thing that I kind of advocate for with like regards to things like depression and anxiety and stuff like that.
mhm.
Like you can kind of you can have something come into your life, like some situation, and it might seem bad, but it's kind of like if you take a step back and you look at it fully in its
Yeah.
entirety, and you can choose like what aspects to focus on, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like you can look at something and you can think, oh, either this bad thing could happen or this good thing could happen,
Yeah.
and you can kind of choose what one to sort of focus on, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
maybe like the bad thing might happen, but that's like one of the things that's out of your control. But in terms of what you focus on and what you put your energy into and what you sort of put your time and your energy into, that is under your control. And that sort of thing about like what lens you put on and what lens you view the world in, yes, that is like under your control. So yeah, I totally love that and advocate for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are things like anxiety and depression, like I think that there are elements of that obviously that you can't control. So like especially
That too. I
people
don't
with
want to
anxiety, it's
oversimplify.
like you can't just like rationalize your way out of anxiety a lot of times. So I think there's like an element of that I think like both of us, you know, can like totally acknowledge and believe in. And
Yeah,
then
it's not as simple as what I just. It's
No,
not like sort of
totally.
as
But
simple
I-
as what
but
I just
I,
said
like-
for everyone. No, definitely not.
totally, but I totally agree with you that like I really agree with you that it's like it's a practice. So I think
Yeah.
it takes practice to choose to maybe try
Yeah,
to find the positive or choose to like reframe a situation for yourself. I think that all takes practice. And
Doesn't it? It's like sort of like developing like a habit or something like that.
yeah,
you
like a
know?
muscle. You're building
Like
a
a
muscle.
muscle, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like you're building a muscle, and that's the thing. But it's something that you do have to work hard at. And again, it's not something that's gonna fix all your problems. It's not something that's gonna make everything good. Like you're never not gonna feel sad or angry or
Right.
anxious or anything. But it's just, but you'll feel those things less often or less
Yeah.
intensely or for a smaller amount of time or whatever. And again,
Yeah.
and it's not, and some people are gonna be good at, some people are gonna be better at training that muscle
Right.
than others, and some people do have things where just like their bodies pour out the wrong chemicals and like things like that. But
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
I also
but-
think
but
like I think it's like something that I feel like, and I think you probably like would agree with me on this, is that it's whatever helps you as a person. So like everyone has different tools that they use in their life to help them with whatever it is that they deal with, and that might not work for you, and that's okay. So like it's very possible that like there are people out there with, you know, like chronic illnesses who hearing like that perspective and that thought is not a helpful one, because it's like for them they're like, my reality doesn't change based off of my, you know, perception. And I think that's valid, and that's totally allowed and 100% valid. And also for some people, I think coming from this mindset of like, oh, I can control my reactions, I can control my perspective, and I am going to choose to find the good can be very helpful. So I think it's like, I think it's a thing where it's like whatever is helpful for you. I find it very helpful for me to try to like find the good things and like be like find the hope in a situation. But-
yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
and I find that really helpful, and it sounds like you do too. And I think
Yeah.
other people, like if you might also, but also you might not. And I think that's totally valid either way.
You've got to find like the victories. You have to find the hot, or it's so.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say you have to. Sorry, that's not a good way of putting it. I'll say, but like it's so good if you can get into the habit of like
Yeah.
finding the victories and finding the hope and not getting, you know, finding the ways where you don't get caught up like in despair or, you know, negativity and stuff like that. And it's why I can make all those jokes about myself, because I've kind of got to a place where I kind of, you know, I can kind of do that, and I'm very totally. There was a time where I stopped doing it for a long time because it wasn't good, and I was doing it too like genuinely kind of thing. Like I was just genuinely being hard on myself. Whereas now I just
Yeah.
kind of know I'm doing, and I still don't do it like a whole lot and stuff like that. And I try not to do it too much publicly because it doesn't set a good example. But you know, I know I can do it because it's sort of I know I'm like exaggerating or being sort of
Right,
silly.
you're
Like
just being
in my head, I feel like I'm being silly.
Right. You
when
are
I
being
make those
silly.
kind of jokes. But exactly. So you know, I sort of know that. But perhaps some people could look at. I try not to do it too much publicly or whatever, just because people could look at it and think I'm being genuine, and it's like, no, I'm like, you know, just
Right.
poking fun at myself. That's it.
No, totally.
or I'm just making a joke out of a situation. Sort of thing. So, but yeah. But no, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I think it like, I think it's one of those things where my mom has this thing that she always says to me where, she talks about like tools I have in my toolbox, and I really love that because, like for example, if I'm like struggling or I'm sad and I'm talking to her and I'm like, oh, sorry that I'm being so like sad or whatever.
Aw.
She's like, no, you're just using one of the tools in your toolbox, which is you're relying on your support system. And I think that like
Yeah.
everyone has their own toolbox, and they need their own special set, their unique set of tools in their toolbox. And I think it's important to know that like if if you are struggling or feeling anxious or like depressed, if it feels like there's like nothing in your control, it could be a very useful tool for you to try to practice this muscle of like, okay, what is something that I can like find the hope in or find the good in? And then if that feels impossible, honestly, if like sometimes I feel like sometimes it's even enough just to go like, what is something pretty that I can see with my eyes? What is a song? Do you know what I mean? Like if you're in a situation where it just feels hopeless.
Can
like,
I just say? Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, there's actually of all the weird places to find like art, but in one of the, and do stick with me because the first half of this sentence I could lose you with it, but I promise
I'm with you. I'm with you.
There is, because there are like a bajillion Pokemon movies. There's a Pokemon movie where at the end of it, it has a song. They'd always like have like some song that plays during the credits, and they had this song called like "This Is a Beautiful World," but it's kind of about like it's actually one of the ones where I like listen to the lyrics a bit and stuff, and actually like kind of remember some of the lyrics. But basically, it's kind of about like, you know, like looking around and being able to sort of recognize and see like the beauty in the world, and that there is beauty all around us, and you just kind of need to like open your eyes to it and stuff like that. And I love that. It's just like fun and catchy as well.
No, I love that. I feel like
I'll try and send it to you at some point.
I feel like that's like sometimes that's a tool in my toolbox, is if I'm like feeling sad. I'm just like, if I'm feeling sad or like a situation, I'm like, I don't know what the like good thing is yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not at the part where I can look at this event that's happened to me and find the good thing. Or I'm not in the place yet where I can look at this thing that's happened to me where I can like figure out my perspective. And there are some things that happen that do not have a good side, and there are some things that happen that do not have a hopeful side, and that's okay.
Right.
And in those,
exactly.
Like in those moments where I'm like, there is nothing good about this. This is just a bad thing that has happened. For me, one of my tools is I'll be like, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna go for a walk with Remy, and I'm gonna find a really pretty flower, and I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I'm gonna send it to my mom. So like, sometimes, yeah, that's another tool of like, what can I see with my eyes that's gonna make me think, wow, look at how pretty this is.
Also,
Or,
sometimes, like, I mean, you shouldn't like crutch on this too much or whatever, but sometimes like, it is just okay to be like sad or scared or something. Like if you say to yourself, right, I'm gonna feel like really sad for like 15 minutes or half an hour, or even like the rest of the day. Like I'm gonna feel sad for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm gonna wake up, and tomorrow's a new day, and I'll like today's a write-off. But like tomorrow, I'll start again, and we'll try and get you know, tomorrow will be the day where things are not totally 100% awful or whatever kind of thing. Like,
oh my gosh,
I think like going out and trying to find some hope or find something beautiful in the world is definitely the better option to do than what I just said. But sometimes there are things.
I think they're both
sometimes
valid.
there are days where, but I think sometimes there have been days where it was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna just.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like kind of give up for today, on the condition that tomorrow I go all in on tomorrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then,
no, I totally know what you mean. And okay, I don't know if you have something like this, but there used to be this. It's like sometimes people have things like songs or movies that they watch when they're like, I'm sad and I want to cry about it, and I'm just gonna like listen to or watch this media and like experience the feelings, and then that way I've experienced them, you know, things like that. I don't know if you have anything like that, but there was this song in like especially high school that I had a music teacher that told me this story about, it's like a classical piano piece, and the like story I was told by my music teacher was that, you know, he was in love with his like best friend's wife, And
Oh.
even after he died, he and the wife like never got together because that's like a line crossed, obviously. But that in the song, in the piece, there's like, he was like saying like, can't you hear that this is a question? He's asking the question of like, could you love me? But then there's like a musical theme woven throughout that's like kind of sounds like a question, but then it always like is answered. So it's like asking, like considering asking the question and then like not letting himself do it. And I would listen to that song and I would just cry because at that time in high school, I like the idea of like unrequited love was just like the most heartbreaking thing I could ever think of. I was just like, I like, you know, especially in high school, you're just like, unrequited love, no! And I was like, oh, he pined for her his whole life, and then they died, and then they never told each other they loved each other. And I would just be like, so sad. But yeah.
Aw.
That was my angsty era, was I would listen to this song and I would cry, and like in the car, and Mom would be like, what is happening? Mom would be like, are you okay? I'd be like, yeah, Mom, you wouldn't get it. Mom, you wouldn't understand. It's a piano piece. There are no words. And their love was never together. But yeah. Yeah. So, you know, anyway. I don't really know how we got on this topic, but I do feel like this fulfills the philosophy promise.
Old people in cartoon. Like that. I mean, sort of technically, sort of, but.
Sort of.
But yeah, no. But oh yeah, and then just for people, yes, it was the Giratina movie, which I believe was the 11th Pokemon movie, and yeah, and the song was "This Is a Beautiful World," and I'll probably try and find it and send it to Sarah afterwards or something.
Yes, yes, we'll put it in the
yeah.
stream chat.
But yeah, but it was sort of just like, oh, this is like quite a nice, it's quite a nice song, and it's like it's in a Pokemon movie, you know. So
Yeah, but it's
you
so
know.
true. But I do agree with you when you were saying like sometimes you just want to be like sad, and I think that's really valid too. Sometimes it's good to sit. I feel like it's good. It's equally good to sit with your feelings.
Yeah, exactly. That's like that because again, I come from a country and a culture where you're like told to bury your feelings. You're not allowed to feel feelings. You know, so
Yeah.
I think I've kind of learned like sometimes it's like, you know what, I need to just kind of like let the tide not the tide, but I need to like flow with the river rather than try and like swim against it, and then
Yeah.
like wherever it kind of takes me, like tomorrow I'll find my way from there. Again, as long as you kind of make that deal with your, again, if you say like, I'm just gonna feel bad, and it's like, no, there needs to be like a but or a then or something
mean,
that you
I
add
would-
onto it. Like you can't just be like, I'm gonna feel bad. It's like, no, you need to be like, I'm gonna feel bad, and then I'm gonna do this
And then-
nice thing,
well,
or I'm gonna go
I
and.
guess I would say my caveat of like finding, like choosing a perspective. My caveat to that is I do actually think all of the time you should feel the feelings. So I think you should always allow yourself to like feel sad. I don't think you need to like immediately turn to like, how am I gonna reframe this for myself? Because I do think feeling the feelings is important. Because I think otherwise, like
Right.
when you bury all your feelings, then you never like get to. You never process them. So I do think it's good to feel your feelings, but I also agree with what you were saying before about like it's good to practice like you're finding your positive perspective.
Yeah.
So
And the thing is, once you kind of do it enough, there are things that kind of happen to you where you kind of look like. So basically, I've sort of just worked so hard on like my sort of mental health and positivity
Yeah.
for like a long time, and there are just so many things now where I kind of like look at them and I'm like, there would have been a time in my life where if this thing happened, I think I would have been like terrified, but like I feel nothing right now because it's just I don't know, like it's sort of like the automatic, like the not jumping to worrying about stuff or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know, like just stuff just doesn't worry me, and it's probably like a little bit like sort of getting older as well, like, you know, whatever
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But I think
just
it's a-
as you
I
get
think-
older, I think you care less about stuff. But
I think
like,
that's also like a practice though. I think it's a practice
yeah.
of like choosing to be like, oh, instead of immediately jumping to worry or instead of immediately jumping to anxiety, like, I'm gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that's because, like, I have a lot of anxiety, and I feel like, yeah, it's taken a lot of work to, like, not be, like, not let the anxious feelings, like, overwhelm all the time. But I do also, like, someone in the comments was talking about, like, toxic positivity, and I feel like we're not really talking about that. We're not talking about, like, pretend everything is fine. It's like, it's good to feel your feelings. It's good to acknowledge your sadness and, like, sit in your sadness, and it can be a good tool for you or for anyone, especially with things like anxiety, to practice, like, being like, practice the thought process of, like, maybe I don't have to think of every possible worst case scenario.
No, that's just it. Like, I'll give
Yeah.
you a random example of a tiny thing. Your phone rings, it's like some kind of unknown number, or like a number comes up on the screen, but there's not a name attached to it, or something like that. It's like, in that moment, your brain can kind of decide a lot of things, and it's automatic. Like, you don't choose what that automatic reaction to the phone call is.
Right.
But if you kind of practice enough, that reaction will change. Like, what that instant, you know, sort of knee jerk or sort of little jump in your heart is, like, that will change if you practice enough. But basically, like, if you see a number you don't recognize, you can feel like, oh, it's just going to be like a spam call. You can be like, oh gosh, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? You can get really scared and worked up about it. Maybe it also depends on the context of the situation. Like, maybe you're kind of half expecting a phone call. So maybe it's something where, you know, you're kind of expecting like some phone call and you're thinking, oh gosh, it's going to be bad news. But you could look at it and be like, well, let's find out what this is. You know, and that's, do you know what I mean? You don't know what it is. You don't know who it is. You don't know what it is. Until you pick up, you don't know. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you can either convince yourself before you've even picked up the phone that it's going to be the worst thing ever, or you can you can you can feel your phone vibrate, look at it, and go, okay, let's find out what this is.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
You don't have to be like, oh, cool, my phone's ringing. This is going to be the best thing ever. Like, no, you know. But it's like, but you can be like, well, I don't know what this is. Let's find out whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. You know, like that. That's kind of what, you know, for anyone who is, like, say, not 100% say sure what we're talking about or things like that. That's kind of what we're saying. It's like, you're looking at all the different outcomes. Yes, it could be like a scam caller. Yes, it could be some awful news from someone, like, you know, like, oh, you're like, something's happened to this family member of yours or something. Like, these things are all possible, but it could also be good and wonderful news as well. Like, you know, I've had that. I've had, like, you know, one time I got, like, a phone call, and it was like me being told I got a gig for something, and I was like, I always get, like, emailed when I get a gig, but, like, it was like, oh, you got the gig, and it was like, oh wow, that's incredible.
Wow, a great phone call. Yeah. I feel like for me, with sometimes with anxiety, like, something that I feel like I've tried to work on has also been reframing to be just, like, curious about things instead of being afraid of them. So being like, oh, like, I wonder what's, instead of being like, okay, I have to think of every possible scenario outcome.
Yes.
And so that I can be prepared.
No, that's what I do.
Like,
I do.
Yeah, like reframing it to be like, ooh, I wonder what could happen. I guess we'll see.
Can I just say a really cool and interesting and I think sort of helpful thing just for anyone out there, and this is like for anything, not just, I don't know, about anxiety, but this is just about doing things and stuff like that. But if you're, like, ever planning anything, or if there's anything that you think might happen in your life or something, like, say if you're like, oh, something might happen and I don't know what to do about it. If you think about all the different outcomes and stuff like that, like, you don't need to meticulously plan what you would do for, like, every single one of them. It's like, if we ever have anything in life that is kind of coming up or that might come up, there is a tremendous amount of relief to be had if there are two things that you have in mind. One, you kind of know what your end goal is for, like, that outcome or something like that. And the other thing is just knowing what the first thing is that you would do. So if you're like, you know, if there's, like, some bad thing you're worrying about, you don't need to think about, like, every single step that you would have to do or take in preparation for it. But if you think, well, okay, I would like it to turn out this way, and I suppose the first thing I would do is this. And so, I don't know, it might be something like, oh, I'll Google some information about it, or I'll ask my family about it, or I'll send a message to my family about it, or whatever like that little first step is. It can be the tiniest little thing, but if you just kind of know what like the first step is. It's like the next step will probably just kind of like automatically follow. Like say if it is something like sending a message to your family will then reply back to you, and then you'll kind of take what they say and do something with that, you know. Like it's like you don't need to like. So again, when it's sort of like, oh, if you look at like looking at all different possibilities is a wonderful thing, but you also don't need to like meticulously plan all of them. You just kind of need to know, okay, what would be like the end thing that I would kind of like to work towards if that possibility happened. And what is one thing that I would do to try and work towards that end goal? And if you have that one thing, maybe it won't bring you the relief you need, and maybe you do need to think of a few things. Maybe you need to make a list of, okay, if this really bad thing happens, I'm kind of dreading, I could do this about it, and I could do that about it, and I could do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Like maybe that, but maybe just knowing one thing that you would do in case of something bad happens, like that can bring you a tremendous amount of comfort.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe even like if it's something where like if you find that you have to make a list every single time, like maybe practice one time just doing what you're saying and see how that makes you feel. I'm laughing because Cats Are Fancy super chatted and said, consider this my copay for this free therapy session.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you, Cats Are Fancy. I loved that. That was really great.
Well, I feel like we did promise philosophy, and we did that. And then we promised songs, and we definitely did that. And then bonus was the poem.
So now we need to do the philosophy of the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Ooh, okay.
No,
we need to do a song breakdown of the wheels on the bus. But yeah, this has been super fun for me, Beau, and I'm so glad that you were able to come. Sorry you couldn't listen or see it.
I'm sorry that you couldn't see anything or hear
anything. Sorry you couldn't hear or see anything.
No, thank you for having me. This has been really...
Yes, thank you. And
please,
could you please let everyone know, it's in the description of this video, but could you also please let everyone know how to find you, how to follow you?
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the main things, just because, like, so many social medias are, like, either crumbling into nothingness or, like, only just getting started. So one of the best, like, if you like these rambles and waffles that I go on, I do have a YouTube channel of my own, and I do stream. On Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is like California, Los Angeles time. Like if you're looking up on Google, you're like, what time is that? Like if you just look up like 11 a.m. Los Angeles time, and then you can figure out like what that is for you. But 11 a.m. Los Angeles time, because I live in Los Angeles. For those who don't know, like I'm not like based in England. But yeah, I stream on like Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
And what are you streaming this Saturday?
Yeah, I sadly am unable, for those who don't know, I am sort of somewhat famously at this point unable to play Genshin Impact because I was always hoping for it to come to the Nintendo Switch, and I maybe could technically like play it on my phone now, but I wouldn't be able to stream it. And I don't have a good enough computer and blah, 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 blah. So keep your fingers crossed for it coming on a Nintendo console, either like the Switch or whatever, like Nintendo's next console is or whatever. If that does happen, then I will, you know, do extra streams and start playing Genshin, for sure. But for now, whilst I can't play Genshin, I do all kinds of things, but it's primarily Nintendo because I'm a big Nintendo fan. So I'll just say I'm actually in this really iffy place at the minute, which is like it's become quite funny and quite a joke now.
Oh no.
A few weeks ago I was like, oh, we're gonna go on a video game strike soon, you know, and I was kind of like, I'm not sure like what video games I'll be able to play or not play, and you know, and even if we're like technically allowed to play some things, I was like, it might not be very like tasteful to play certain games or what. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I was kind of like, I don't know what to do. I was like, right, I had this whole plan to, and no other YouTuber has ever done this. I planned to play a Luigi's Mansion game in the month of October leading up to Halloween. No one's ever thought of that before. No one's ever done it before. Don't look it up or check. It was totally an original idea to me. No one's ever played Luigi's
just believe me.
Just believe me. No one's ever done that before. It was my clever idea that no one has ever come up with before. But no. So I was going to do the very unoriginal thing of playing Luigi's Mansion 3 at like end of September throughout October. But then that was when it kind of looked like we were like maybe just about to go on strike. Like we just authorized the strike or whatever. So at the minute, what I've been doing is I've actually just been doing shiny hunts on Pokemon. If you don't know about Pokemon, you don't have to. The shiny hunt, basically, you're going to be looking at like a bajillion Pokemon on screen for like half an hour at a time. You're going to see like like 1,000 of the same Pokemon on the screen over the course of like half an hour, and we're basically just looking for the one that's a different color, and it's very compelling and interesting. I promise you, it's more interesting than it sounds. But it's
No,
very,
it's
very
great
kind of like
because
right
it's
chat. Like
it's a
how
stream
how
with
long
you.
are we? Oh, thank you. But yeah, so we make it exciting, and we're kind of like right chat. How quickly are we going to get the different colored one today and stuff like that?
You're
Because every
taking like
Pokemon.
bets.
Well, we sort of like have guesses, and we, because each one is kind of different. Like some Pokemon are like easier to do these shiny hunts for than others. So sometimes it's kind of, so sometimes like say 2 Pokemon will appear, and it's like, well, I've already got a shiny of that one, but I don't have a shiny of the other one, and we want a shiny of the other one. But then you'll get a shiny of the one you already have a shiny of, stuff like that. So there's all kinds of really interesting fun. We've had some really funny, like interesting things just come up from the randomness of like generation. But yeah, but I've been doing shiny hunting in Pokemon. So if you don't know how to shiny hunt in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I can show you as well, because it's tremendously easy. And it's like really accessible. So yeah, at the minute I've been playing Pokemon, but I've done a lot of Nintendo stuff as well. So I've done earlier chat mentioned I'd played Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I've done like Super Mario Sunshine, and Galaxy and 64. I've done Pokemon games. The first streams I did, I'm coming up on a year since I began streaming. A year ago I did
Yay!
Pokemon Violet with only ice type Pokemon for Chongyun, because Chongyun's a cryo user.
I
so
love it.
I did like a challenge with only ice types, and that was really fun. And I'm actually doing like so I'm actually doing 2 streams this weekend, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, also at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So on Saturday we're just doing the sort of now sort of typical shiny hunt whilst we're sort of in like strike limbo, and then maybe I'll do like a Halloween Luigi's Mansion at Christmas time. But then on the Sunday I'm going back to my ice type file, because there's in the DLC there are these trainers called like the Kitakami Ogre Clan. They're like really tough trainers, and I was like, oh, we never beat them, and they're like really tough, and maybe there'll be a challenge for our ice types. So we'll see if my ice types can beat these weird, difficult trainers. But yeah, so I'm doing Nintendo stuff. But like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and maybe hopefully one day I'll be able to do Genshin as well. I will keep doing the Nintendo stuff even if Genshin does come along, because I like doing the Nintendo stuff as well. But those have been really fun. And yeah, I'm coming up on a year. I suppose this weekend maybe is my way to celebrate 1 year, like doing 2 streams in one weekend. I mean, I'd love to do something else, but I don't really have any ideas, and I just don't have a lot of options for games to play, so I am quite limited in terms of what I'm able to stream. But anyway, sorry, that's my long way of saying like YouTube's probably the best way. It's at BeauVO Games, so it's BeauVO space games. Although I think if you look up Beau Bridgland on YouTube, like my channel comes up and stuff like that. But it's BeauVO Games, and Sarah's very kindly put links in description and stuff as well. But yeah, so YouTube's the best way. But I am also on social media. It's just like social media is like such a mess at the minute, and I haven't been posting as much to social media because it's like such a mess. Still worth following. I like post pictures of yummy food I make and stuff like that. But
It's true.
oh, thank you. But I'm like BeauVO on Twitter, and Blue Sky, and then I'm Beau.Bridgland, so that's BeAU.BRIDGLAND on like Instagram and Threads. I think I have a Facebook fan page. It's BeauVO.
Oh.
So it's either like BeauVO or Beau.Bridgland, depending. If it's the Instagram-y stuff, it's Beau.Bridgland. If it's like Twitter and YouTube, it's not Threads. That's an Instagram-y one. Let me do that again. If it's Instagram and Threads, it's Beau.Bridgland. If it's Twitter, Blue Sky, and YouTube, it's BeauVO, and hopefully that helps. Anyway, so that was way longer. That was supposed to be like 30 seconds. And
No,
like
it's
5
fine.
minutes.
It's great. Everyone, please go for sure. Follow Beau on all social media, but especially YouTube, because Beau is streaming twice this weekend.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys this weekend. That would be really fun.
So everyone go hang out.
I'm sorry that like we can't just do some kind of stream on my channel this weekend. That would be the fun and amazing thing to do.
I know.
I just don't really have
we'll have to make it happen in the future.
Oh, hang on, sorry, I'm leaning over, putting a water bottle down. Definitely, no, I would absolutely love that, because just seriously, streaming with you is so fun. I said last week, I was like, my stream with Sarah before was like the most fun one I did, and it is tied with the one I did with Zach. But the reason why yours does still come
That's
out on
because we're
top
twins.
is
That's why it's
his
tied.
one. His yeah, exactly. But the reason yours did come on top is his like did have some tech issues. There were tech issues
Oh,
I
no.
didn't realize happened at the time. Like I sort of felt like everything was fine.
Oh.
But on the stream it came out where like he couldn't hear everything I was saying, and he was like being so polite and like not really saying like I can't really hear you there. So when I was listening back, I was like, oh gosh, he like couldn't hear what I was saying, and like it's skipping like every third word I'm saying, and like no. So
Well,
whereas
he might have
R1,
been able to hear
I
you,
watched
but
it back.
the stream, maybe it like messed up on the stream side.
It messed up on the stream, and I think for him as well. I think
Oh.
it messed up for him and the stream, but he was
Oh,
just
no.
very polite. But it was a bit like, no, dude, I could have like hung up and called again, and that probably would have fixed it, whatever. Whereas when I watched our one back, I was like, this is just as funny as I remember, and there was no tech stuff, so it was great. It was great, and this one's been brilliant as well. And I love that we've covered the full range of we've been like a bit
Yeah.
serious, but then we've like had fun and silly
And
jokes,
you got in an
and
Emperor's New Groove.
we got into Emperor's
joke.
New Groove references.
That's
like,
great.
good stuff. So yeah, this has been. We've ticked all the boxes. This has been very successful.
Yeah.
If I do dare say so.
If I do
and
dare
yes,
say so, yes.
if I do dare say so.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, we're gonna try and find a way to stream together on Beau's stream. So keep your eyes out for that in the future, hopefully.
Nah. I love that. I'd really love that. But
well, this is
Sarah and I will talk about that off screen.
Yeah,
and
we'll
off-stream.
figure out the details later. But yes, this has been amazing. I do want to thank Glenn for the 5 gifted memberships, and I want to thank Cramin for the 5 gifted memberships. Everybody say thank you to Cramin and Glenn. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, thank you so much.
Cramin would have gifted more, but like he spent the rest on sandwiches. Sorry, had to get. There we go. Now we have ticked all the boxes. Now we've ticked all the boxes.
I do also want to thank my mods one more time. Thank you to Xander and Cramin and Diamond and Crisp and Crazy and Brandon and Archie. Thank you all of you, and thank you all of you for being here and watching our stream. Thank you. And yeah, the last thank you, of course, goes to Beau. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, mods. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, gift subbers.
Oh yeah. Also, thank you to all of you.
And thank you, and
I
thank
was
you,
taking
Sarah.
care of it.
And
Ditto.
thank you, Sarah, because this has once again been just incredible fun. I don't know how much I'm one of those people where I don't like always look happy on the outside. Like there'll be like a picture of me from like an amazing moment in my life, and I'm like, I look so unhappy, and yet I felt tremendous joy. But like, so I don't know how much I actually am smiling, but I feel like I'm smiling.
Well, it
like,
sounds
a lot,
like you're
because
smiling,
this has just
so
been so
we
much fun.
believe that you're
So-
smiling.
So
You
I feel I don't need to put on the rose tinted lens to feel happy about this one. This is just
Aw.
like happy.
Same.
Happy.
This is great, but we're definitely gonna stream more together because this is super fun, and we have to make it happen. And
Yes.
the end.
Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a
But
good night.
Oh, one last thing is the Voice Actor Among Us stream is this weekend. That will be Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Because it's our Halloween one, people may be in costume. Maybe I will be in costume. So check out the Among Us list if you want on Twitter. I tweeted it, and
Yep.
yes,
Watch me in the morning.
Yes.
Go have like an early dinner, and then
Yes.
come back to watch Sarah in costume doing Among Us shenanigans.
yes, perfect. Okay, so this is the end of the stream, and thank you again, Beau, for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
have a good rest of your day or night wherever y'all are. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
your little stream thingy will go bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye